Well, I think what we make of it is that the American people are onto what you just said. It's more important to be respected than it is to be liked. And I think this goes true when you're looking at military operations. I mean, let's remember when President Trump came into office, the other side was saying we're going to end up in wars all over the world. The reality is, yes, we're still in Afghanistan and we're doing some minor things in Syria, but by and large, we're taking terrorists out one by one, and the president's trying to bring more and more of our troops home. And, you know, yes, when the president goes overseas to the NATO summit and other places, he may be talking some tough talk and some of the folks may not like it, but more countries are actually paying their fair share of these agreements that we're in. And I think the American people think that's a good thing.
Well, I think the number one thing that we learned from the coronavirus is, again, the Chinese government is not your friend. I mean, they handled this abysmally, and the world seeing that, I think, really helps open up people's eyes about China. I take your point on the diversity of supply chains. I think we're going to see that. We're going through a risk revolution in how people look at China. They don't see it as just a checkbook anymore or a place to go and make billions of dollars. There are real risks there in terms of their governance, in terms of their rule of law and other things. And people, I think, there's going to be some diversification in the supply chain reacting to that. I think that's clear.
We have a senior administration official saying in public what they have most assuredly been saying to governments around the world privately. There is no safe way to have Huawei in your networks.
Absolutely. It's undoing decades of good relations between New York City and the federal government to fight terrorism and keep our country safe. It's the governor and other far left politicians putting illegal aliens above their own citizens' safety, and it's really unfortunate.
Why are the Taliban at the negotiating table? Because they know they can't win. Mm-hmm. ISIS cannot win. As long as we are there and backing up the Afghan military, who's doing all of the fighting, they are building a future for their country, and the other side can't win. That's why oftentimes we see these incidents, sometimes engineered, because what they would like to do is, oh, look, the war's in Well, America should just turn it back and leave. That's exactly the wrong message to take away.
But the Fed has been actually doing good work given the environment that they found themselves in, and we should be considering other policy tools to reduce the Fed's role in the markets when it comes to the repo markets, for example, and also the regulatory powers that the Fed has assumed since Dodd-Frank passed. Those are some areas that we need to look at and not be so focused on rate cuts.
You're right to say that Senator Sanders has a similar platform to the political reality of Venezuela, and we're watching in real time what that failure looks like. What concerns me about the senator is that he's not been able to really condemn the regime in any forceful way. And he doesn't seem to understand that Guaido is involved in an epic struggle between totalitarianism and freedom. And we need all hands on deck. This is a bipartisan effort. And the senator hasn't really taken a firm stand in defense of freedom.
Liz, Medicare for All is really only the beginning of the types of proposals that you would be getting under a truly socialist leader. And that is why this is a very important election and very important debate between capitalism and socialism, because as you correctly pointed out, Denmark and Sweden are not socialist countries. They have big welfare systems, but they have very free economies, some of the most free economies in the world.
Yeah, he wants to wipe it away for them, and he will wipe it away for the vast majority of this population that's not unionized. And something that he doesn't really disclose in his public comments is how are we going to pay for it? It's not just that we're going to lose our choice. This is going to come with a hefty price tag. You can crunch the numbers. There's no way that just taxes on the wealthy alone can pay for it. If you want this type of a system, look at what they're paying in Europe for payroll taxes. France is paying a 54% payroll tax. It's unbelievable, but it's true, and that's what we have to look forward to here.
Wow.